AJ, so it's 2016 May. You're back home in Grand Rapids. What decided to bring you back to the city that you grew up in?
Man, it was honestly the mission. When I cooked this up, I was in Kalamazoo my senior year, 2011, and as endless opportunities, the whole thought and the vision came behind it. It was centralized around home. So it was like I had opportunities to move elsewhere, whether it was Chicago, Atlanta, but the heart is, at home. But more importantly, it's about creating a system, creating an institution for young boys like myself to thrive in. And really willing to run over that hill and whatever I could do towards a solution, put it in place.
What's the biggest obstacle that you found since you've been back home? And then what's also your greatest joy, your greatest accomplishment?
The biggest obstacle I'd be putting money in my young boys' pockets. When it comes to working with young men, they believe in what we're teaching, but until we can provide some of that dollar, to keep them engaged, or to, not necessarily say it's a bad thing, but when you lose kids to McDonald's and some of those other institutions that are refining their skills, it's kind of a step backwards. So, honestly, the biggest barrier is making sure our youth is employed, but with meaningful jobs. But, greatest joy, we got our first high school graduate on to college. His name's Jonathan, and he playing football for a D2 school in Iowa. So, just the simple fact that he's headed to where he is, and we still have that connection past this program. That's really, my biggest success at the moment.
When you're talking about your young men, explain a little bit more about that. What is the concept behind endless opportunities and your mentoring program, the Educated Men?
Yeah, so the whole concept is changing the world one person at a time. So it's one young man at a time. It's not, trying to eat the whole elephant at once. So when it comes to, like I just mentioned, Jonte is getting him to believe, so then Jonte can get another young man to believe. But when you look at the neighborhood, we at King Park right now, you know what I mean? And this is a place where I spent a ton of time growing up. And, it was things from good hoopers here to gambling here to fights or whatever, but coming back here to make sure that these young men have a education of life itself, how to move forward in this thing they call life, have a sense of identity, but then after that identity, allow them to be empowered so they can impose their will on this world in which they live.
A lot of young African-American professionals, once they go off to college and they make it, it seems like they're afraid to come back to the neighborhoods where maybe they come from, the neighborhoods where maybe their parents grew up, where they're still struggling. Why do you think that is?
It's various reasons for that, but I think the biggest one is just the stigma of the lack of opportunities, and it's not necessarily a stigma per se, because when you think of stuff like the Forbes article highlights, the high unemployment here. When you go to Chicago or Atlanta, you get better jobs, and better pay off the top. So to get somebody to return here to where they just come here to work, and not so much culture outside of work, whether it's entertainment, theater, whatever.
Or even giving back. Right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to attract them here without that dollar, honestly. And when you go to school for 4 years, you want a well-paying job, so now you got loans most of the time, and you got to pay those back. So really getting people to believe back that they can thrive back home. And until they see people like ourselves, honestly, making a decent dollar, who are college educated, I think that'll begin to bring them back. But they coming back one by one, but we need them coming back by the tens.
And coming back and making an impact.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. I get so many calls and emails or Facebooks about how can people get involved from the way, but it's kind of hard because we need boots on the ground here. And, of course, spreading the word, financially, contributing financially. We need boots on the ground.
Now, you've received a few awards here in the city since you've been back home. Grand Rapids Business Journal awarded you top 40 under 40. You got a couple other ones, I think, like a Legacy Award from Jessica Aaron. And talk about that, man, actually being able to come home. You haven't even seen 30 yet, said hi to 30, as Jay-Z would say. And you're receiving some of the most prestigious awards here in the city.
It's huge, man, because coming back home to be recognized for your work is always great. The Grand Rapids Business Journal, that was completely out the blue, had no clue, but someone nominated me and ended up being fortunate enough to win that award. But most importantly, I would like to make sure that more of us is in there. So do what I could do to make sure that more people are efforts are acknowledged and nominated for those type of things. But honestly,
When you say us, you mean diverse backgrounds?
us, I mean black males, black women, Latinos, but more so just, yeah, like you said, more minorities recognized. It was kind of thin in there, but it's kind of, the situation that was given. But more importantly, the awards is cool, but it's about the work. And really want to attract people to this type of work and being hands-on. And it's a 1+1 type of initiative, man. Grab a family member by hold, a neighbor, a friend, whoever. But the ones who do have the knowledge, is our obligation and responsibility to pass it back. And if awards come with that, then that's cool.
Well, you have some other ventures going on outside of the Business Opportunity Educated Male Network. How important is it for young people to have multiple streams of revenue and multiple hustles?
Man, honestly, with the economic downturn, that taught me a lot. Both of my parents is in the automobile industry, so those times it's tough. You see your parents start to think about finances different and how they gonna live their life. So my whole goal is to always create. My goal is 5 streams of income, man. And the reason for that is because no corporation or entity should be able to control and dictate my future like that. So as I come back, man, I keep it all under the same umbrella, though. It's all about youth empowerment, being hands-on with the youth. So whether I'm here, Midwest Tech, working with local organizations on how to improve their youth services, it's all about the shorties first and foremost. But to be compensated for that type of work is just a plus on top of that. Yeah.
Last question, man. Who's the hottest videographer in the city of Grand Rapids?
Man, Boog Madison behind the camera and the lens all day, man. We got drones coming in, and we might not take them downtown, but we will bring them in the park. You know what I'm saying? But more so, it's a pleasure to even work with this man and just to break bread with him, keep his art and his craft going. But most importantly, man, he supports the mission just like I support his. So
And you can find endless opportunities where?
we have to check out our Facebook page, Endless Opportunities, our website, endlessopportunities.org, and be in tune about what's coming next. But most importantly, engage, man. For me, bro, it's like I've always heard, like, you know what I mean, how you feel about people doing the haircut giveaway since you did it, or things of that nature. My whole goal was really to teach our community how to give, bro, unselfishly. So, like, I welcome that. You know what I mean? Anybody that want to duplicate certain events or even mentoring programs, at the end of the day, I'm one person. You know what I mean? So, like, even if I could offer some knowledge behind how to get that going, I feel like I'm still doing my service to the shorties, even though it's not, in my own way.
It is, and that's a wrap.